Hi, I'm Heather Moore, and this is the Cable News Roundup for July 6th. I'll start with Fox News and the O'Reilly factor. He says Donald Trump is unfairly being turned into a villain for his provocative comments on illegal Mexican immigrants. O'Reilly says Trump was speaking too generally, but that the penetrable border in the South is very dangerous for the country. He says the world is failing to defeat ISIS and that some cities are acting as sanctuaries for illegal immigrants, and he says Greece wants the rest of the world to pay its bill. On the Kelly File, over the weekend, an illegal immigrant who had been deported 5 times already confessed to killing a California woman. The O'Reilly factor said this murder can be blamed on the mayor of San Francisco. The Kelly File goes one step further and says we can blame the murder on the Obama administration. Also over the weekend, there were 10 killed and 54 wounded by gun violence in Chicago alone. The segment was a bit strange in that it jumped from talking about removing the Confederate flag from the State House grounds in South Carolina to talking about black-on-black violence in Chicago. But they made some really good statements that gun violence is truly out of control and that some Chicago children are concerned that they might be shot on the way to school. On Hannity, he talks about sanctuary cities in the U.S. where authorities do not have to alert immigration police when they find a person to have entered the country undocumented. They talk about this one man who killed a California woman, and that if the country were harder on illegal immigrants, or harder on illegal immigration, this would have been prevented. And Ann Coulter is on, and per usual, she is extreme with her disdain for illegal immigrants. Switching over to MSNBC, I'll end with Chris Hayes. Donald Trump made some more provocative comments about Mexican immigrants over the weekend. All In shows Republicans on the other side who are worried about alienating Hispanic voters. Court documents released show that Bill Cosby admitted in 2005 to getting Quaaludes to give to women for sex. And Chris Christie says the media overplayed the bridge closing controversy, where a bridge was not meant to be closed, but it was for a little while, and the question was, did Christie do it, or did somebody who worked for him close the bridge? And Christie should definitely be able to move past this, in my opinion, although All In doesn't agree. The Rachel Maddow Show, she says Donald Trump is becoming more extreme with his immigration rhetoric. She doesn't talk about the murder of the California woman that was featured on Fox, just Trump's incendiary speech. South Carolina Senate voted to remove the Confederate flag. She supports it being taken down, and she talks about the released documents from the Bill Cosby's rape case. And the U.S. women won the Women's World Cup. And the last word with Lawrence O'Donnell. He says more Americans align with being Democrat than Republican. You might remember some days ago when O'Reilly said the exact opposite. He says Donald Trump is digging himself into a hole right now. South Carolina Senate voted to remove the Confederate flag, and he says Bernie Sanders is giving Clinton a real run for her money. So now you know.